Okay.
Mechelle, it's raining out. Thank
Yes.
you for coming out. I know you didn't have to, but we gave you 48 hours notice.
Right. And
You
you
got to
know,
get your hair done.
right, just hair and makeup, No, I'm joking.
Let's get into a little bit. You have a little bit of stuff online about you. You've done TV, you've done comedy, you've done pretty much everything in the reality realm, and stand-up, right? You've done a little
No,
bit of that?
no,
You're
not
just
at all.
funny?
Yes,
Just
just
funny for East
naturally. If
Texas?
you know me, you get to hear my jokes.
We came out here like a spitfire, so we want to get a little bit into it of who you really are and what makes you you.
Got you. You want me to run down my
Yeah,
bio?
let's talk
or?
about who you are. Like, who are you? And why are you sitting here today? Mainly because I asked you, but, there's a lot more where that comes.
Right, that's true. So, like, where do you want to start? Like, let's start. Give me
Well,
somewhere.
Who are you? Where'd you come from?
So I grew up in Houston, Texas, by way of Florida. I was born in Florida. My mom went to FAMU, and she had me while she was in college. So I used to go. That's why I'm so smart, because when I was a baby, I would go to college classes with her and just sit in the classes. You know what I mean?
Sorry. I'm on the wrong too.
And then we went to Houston because it was like a big oil boom. So that was supposed to be like the next city on the map to go to live. And so I was raised in Houston. But my family's from Gary, Indiana. So I would go back and forth from Houston to Gary.
Gary, Indiana, isn't that where Michael Jackson was born?
Yes, that's where he's from. Yeah. I guess he kind of grew up there.
Okay, so your mom was living in Florida, and then she moved after she got her degree, or did she actually?
After she got her degree. My mom and dad. Uh-huh.
So she was pregnant with you, and she got her college degree?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, she had me, and then that's why I was in classes with her. So for her to complete her
She
degree.
wasn't in the tummy. She actually.
No, I was in the baby
Wow.
carrier.
So
yes.
I don't know too many women that actually would have completed college and had the baby with her. Your mom was dedicated.
Yes.
So
yes.
she was already a winner. She was already goal-oriented.
Exactly. And I was able to, the books, I guess the smartness just seeped in through the lectures.
What was your mom trying to be?
Her degree is in communications, broadcasting. So like she would work at the radio stations in Houston. So that was a fun life.
So wait, you were studying communications. I mean, most, infants at your age, is cute little books and whatnot. You were studying communications, basically.
Probably so. That's why I'm a people person.
Yeah. No,
But I think just in that learning environment.
Wow. So your mom graduated. Walk me through this. Your mom graduated. You graduated with her.
Yes.
You guys moved to Florida. I mean, sorry, you were in Florida, but you moved from Florida to Texas, right?
Yes.
And then from Texas, where was your dad?
Together.
Oh, so
we
they were
all
together.
drove.
So everybody was together in Florida, both
Yes.
taking school. What was your dad doing at the time?
So both of them were from Gary, Indiana. My mom went to college in Florida. My dad came to California and came to college. So he finished before my mother. He went to a 2-year college. So then he came back to Florida for my mom. They created me, and then they decided to move to Houston.
Wow, that's really neat because, I mean, the dedication there for moving from, first off, people know Gary, Indiana for Michael Jackson,
Yes.
Small town, right? Mm-hmm. And then moving from there to Florida, pursuing a dream, having a little one. It's just, I mean, that's a lot. I mean, they were super dedicated, and to have you, and it's being, they were how old were they? In their 20s, early 20s,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is really scary.
Right. But I think they had big goals. And like most of the people from Gary, Indiana are like special people. They're not weak. They really push hard. They want a lot out of life. You know what I mean? Now, some people, I don't want to say got stuck there, but you can get, a lot of people got caught up, and now it's like one of the worst cities to live in, and it's kind of a ghost town, but great people came from there.
What was that like growing up, in Florida? Or did you guys move directly from Florida to Texas?
Right. So I don't remember living in Florida.
None of it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then living in Texas, growing up, what was that like? Who inspired you? What did you want to be growing up? Mm-hmm. Did your parents help you with those decisions?
Well, I think from a young age, I always wanted to be an actress. So when I was younger, my mom would try to take me to casting calls and stuff like that, but she didn't know how to do it in Houston. It wasn't a very big, big feel for acting and all that kind of stuff. So she tried like taking me to agents and all that kind of stuff, but it just never really panned out because she just couldn't figure it out there.
Did you ever do any commercials or any print work?
No, school plays.
School plays? But you're feeling it, though. And, obviously it molded who you are right now. in life, and you're a fun, bubbly person. You know, you're always very caring and considerate. You know, just from the short time I've known you, you know, you've always been the same consistent person. Not like some of the people in LA where you know they have this fake for front and they're nice to you, but you're nice all the way through. Did you think that that was from Texas? Because the Texans out there are really genuine people.
Yes, I do. I think it's from Texas. Because Texas has that southern hospitality, but people want things. So you know how in some country towns it's like they're like don't do too much because something might happen. And in Houston, people are not like that. They want big things. They want like the big cheese and they want to conquer. Everything is big in Texas. That's true.
So tell me this. So you're in your 20s, right? You're still in Texas,
yes.
Right? You still want to be an actress, and then what made you move to California? How did that even come about?
Well, first I wanted to go off to college, and I didn't. And I always tell my parents, you all should have pushed me. I like the Serena Williams type of parents or father. I'm like, that's what I feel. And it doesn't work for everybody, but I'm like, I should have had those type of parents who like didn't let me do what I wanted to do. It's like, no, you need to go off to college and you need to experience.
Sorry. We're talking about you though, right? So when I'm laughing because your parents trying to tell you. Right?
Yeah, but sometimes people know things that'll be good for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even dealing with you in real estate. What do? I like Ty, I like this house, or I like this, and you're like, Michelle, that's not what you want.
No, because you told me explicitly. So
Exactly.
You're right. That's actually a good analogy.
Sometimes you need people to bring you back to reality or to push you to your reality.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So people were saying, you remember how Atlanta kind of blew up?
Yeah.
People were saying that Houston was going to be the next place to blow up. So I was kind of trying to wait a little while and see what was going to happen. You know what I mean? And then I was like, no, I got to get out of here. I have to go.
So what prompted you to move?
So I had an uncle out here. So I always would come out here in the summertime. So I was familiar with LA. And then I just was like, I'm just going to go for it. Because I was trying to be a flight attendant and 9/11 happened. So then they sent me a letter saying, right now, because of the circumstances, we're not hiring anymore. But, after everything dies down, then.
Not a joke, but that's a very deadly job.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to LA. I just knew I wanted to get out of Houston. I was like, it's time to go. It's more for me.
So how did you have the money, the support to move California? Because California is so expensive.
Right. Well, first of all, in Houston, I had my own condo, my own car, of course, but I was a realtor. So I was making money. I always know how to make money.
Wow. What was the market there like?
It's not as expensive here as it is here. So you could make money, but I didn't have any kids. I know how to make my money, last, and I know what's important and what I was doing. So I just saved money. And then I have friends here from Houston that were like, just come stay with us for a while until you find a place.
So you're licensed in Houston to sell real estate. Mm-hmm. It was having this boom because it was definitely growing, right? Mm-hmm. And I think in the last, 10 years, Houston's pretty much doubled in size with all the building and a lot of the international monies coming in to develop, and oil money's coming out, and it's a very fancy lifestyle out there. Mm-hmm. Actually, kind of similar to LA, except I don't know if it's so fake out there. It's what you see is what you get. The bigger lifestyle and the cost of living is a lot more inexpensive.
Right. Yeah, and people, it's like no reason to front. You know what I mean? Here, people want to be in Hollywood. They want to, be part of, because there's a lot of money out here, so they also want to be a part of that, be cool and be it.
So you ended up moving to LA, but where in LA?
So I moved to Ladera Heights.
Ladera Heights, that's nice.
Yes, that's where my friends were living. So I didn't know where to go, because my uncle, he lived in South Central. So when we would come visit, when we would go visit him, we would go to South Central, because it's funny how all the black people live kind of like south of Wilshire Boulevard.
But you lived in Ladera Heights.
Right, it was nice.
Super nice. Ladera Heights is nice. There's multi-million-dollar mansions.
Right.
I've been to a few.
Okay.
I've shown a couple.
You sold a few?
No, I didn't sell any few, but I mean, they
almost.
No, not even almost. They kept me to the side.
Oh, okay. So, okay, so living in Ladera Heights.
and next to the Magic Johnson Theater.
Oh, that's Baldwin Hills.
No, there's Ladera Heights right there. I mean, it may be making a mile
No,
away.
you're talking about the TGI Fridays.
Is that what it is?
Yes, the Magic Johnson TGI Fridays
Oh,
was
yes,
in
Ladera
Ladera
Heights.
Heights. Yes,
Yes,
and
yes.
the Baldwin Hills Theater is. It's at the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall.
You know what's crazy? People that are not educated don't realize how nice Ladera Heights really is. I mean, it's beautiful. It's got views. It's clean. I mean,
and it's quick access to the city.
I mean, it's right there, literally. You can be in Hollywood in like 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, no joke.
Right.
So sorry, not to go off the real estate, because obviously, you know, that's my profession. But,
Right.
you know, here you are, you're in your 20s, you moved to Ladera Heights. Your uncle lived in South Central,
Yes.
which is, you know, I don't even know how far that is, because I haven't actually.
Maybe 10 minutes.
It's 10 minutes to South Central?
Yeah, 10, 15 minutes. Not far at all.
And in South Central, did you go there a lot, or?
No.
No.
No, because I remember one time I was going to get my hair braided, and I told my uncle I'm gonna come by and see him afterwards, and he was like, okay. And at this time I had a Range Rover, and he was like, so are you driving that fancy truck over here? And I was like, yes. He was like, no, you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna come drive to my house, and I'm gonna drop you off, and I'm gonna leave the truck at my house. And then let me know when you're ready, and I'll come back and pick you up.
Seriously?
Seriously.
It was that dangerous?
It was like down the street from the Snooty Fox Motel.
I don't know what that is.
It's like a landmark in that area. But yeah, he was like, no, I think I'm gonna drop you off. And it was no discussion.
Wait, first off, what were you doing with the Range Rover? You must have been selling a lot of properties in Houston.
Well, no, I didn't have it as soon as I came here. It was after, a while. And I was in a relationship.
With who?
So I used to be married to Mike Epps.
The comedian?
Yes. So I met him a few weeks after moving to LA.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So wait a minute. What year was this, first off? Because we talked about 9/11. You trying to get a job with airlines. That was cut off, right? What were you doing here? You lived in Ladera Heights, well, obviously with some girlfriends, I'm assuming?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And then what were you doing out here?
So I came out here to be an actress.
So what landed you to get married? Because here you are being an actress out here. You're going through a lot of rules, right? I mean, did you take any rules?
Any rules?
Roles.
Roles. Oh,
You
okay.
with rules? No, definitely not. But roles, yes.
Right, I did. Okay, so when I came out here, I met him a couple of weeks after coming out here, and the relationship just kind of took off really fast, right? And he was in the industry. We had like minds industry-wise. So he was just about to start a movie. So it was like I was on set with that and just kind of seeing how everything goes, So was doing that. We didn't get married till like 4 or 5 years after meeting. We met in 2001.
You met your husband, your ex-husband, doing movie, or
No, we met at the mall.
you met at the mall? Mm-hmm. Here you are, an actress, and he said, "Hey, what do you do?"
No, so like, okay, I had been in the house with my girlfriends hanging, I'm in LA. So I called my dad and I'm like, I'm in LA because I don't know where to go. And, sometimes some people are not as ambitious as you are. I just moved there. So I'm like, I'm trying to meet people. Like, let's get it together. I came here to make it. So I'm like, and I called my dad and he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, we're just in the house. He was like, wait a minute, you're in the house? He was like, you didn't move there to sit in the house. Go do something. So then I told him, I was like, let's go to the mall or something. Let's go do something. Because, you can always go to the mall. In every city, people know you go to the mall. Like,
How old were you at that point?
So I was young. I was in early 20s.
So you went to the mall.
Early. I think I barely turned 20.
Wait a minute. And your future husband at the time, what was the difference in age at the time?
10 years.
10 years. Mm-hmm. So he was preying on you at that point. He saw you, young, cute girl, cool, Spitfire.
I guess so.
Because I'm sure that was the same personality you've always
Yes,
had.
I think I was more spicy then.
Yeah?
Yes.
Because you're definitely spicy.
Yeah, I was very turned up.
He probably loved that about you, because you're that kind of person that's like, hard to get, real cool. But
we had like an instant connection, honestly. He reminded me of somebody I've known for years. So it's like we had that instant connection, exchanged numbers. And I remember he was at the Forever 21.
Forever 21, isn't that a girl store?
Right, but he was talking to somebody in there trying to get some trees, so whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
So anyway, so now I think that night we went out. That night we went out and we just always was hanging out.
Wait, so you met him in Forever 21, and he was shopping for something totally different. You were shopping for some stuff, and you just said, hey, let me get your number. You're kind of cute. I saw you on aisle 3 over there.
No, there's no aisles in Forever 21. That's the grocery store.
Well, I don't know what it is. It's just a huge freaking store.
Right.
And he's like, hey, let me get your number. I'm gonna get this over here, and then I'm gonna get this over here.
I guess, but so I'm new to town, so I'm like, and then I was thinking, okay, he's in some movies, he's not gonna do anything to me. You know what I mean? Like safety wise.
Did you know who he was though?
Yeah, kind of. Not really. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, that's so and so. I kind of did. So we exchanged numbers. And then, like I said, we were hanging out and hitting it off. And then we would always go to the comedy club because that was his thing. So we were going to the comedy club. So I really learned the business from being with him because I was around it often.
You know what's weird, from my point of view, is that, your ex, Mike Epps, you see him, but you never really know, what he could have made or what he's done. He's always been that supporting actor, but he's been in so many different movies, because I feel like, but what was the guy's name? It was Rob. What was the actor's name? The comedian that always has everybody. I mean, a lot of comedians are known for supporting their other actors, right? And they're the comedians and putting them in other roles, and like
when they bring that comedy aspect into the movie.
Absolutely. So it's like he's been in so many movies, but nobody knew that he was that big. I mean, at least from my point of view. So did you know that he was that guy, or was he kind of like you saw him, maybe you didn't see him, like. Did he have a familiar face, or he's like, hey, I'm Mike?
Right, because I really didn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, hey, that's so-and-so, because that was like 17, 18 years ago.
And on top of that, knowing you now, like, I don't even think you really would care.
No.
You'd be like, whatever.
Yeah, that wasn't like my thing. Like I said, it was an instant connection.
No, because you are the kind of person that, you're heartfelt, you're very sincere. You came from, some really good folks,
Yes.
So it had to have been that really amazing connection where you felt something and you're like, I want to be around that person because I like who they are. So
right.
Was he different, then than he is now?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I guess we all are.
Exactly. But then also, too, I think in this business, when you get to a certain point, you do change. When you're making money consistently, your lifestyle changes. When you live, because most people who move here first, you live in an apartment. Then when you can buy your first home.
Not you, because you lived in Ladera Heights.
But we weren't in one of those $1 million houses, though.
But you know what, though? I feel, knowing you for so many years, I feel like you've always been the same person. You always stayed true to yourself. And, I remember you had Bentleys and nice, expensive cars, but you've never changed who you are. Maybe like you swap the cars out, but the genuineness of who you are and always wanting to help your friends out, it's always been sincere. It's never been about Hollywood. You always had your grassroots of being from Houston, knowing where you came from and who you are. I feel like a lot of people get lost in that.
Right.
And, with a lot of the viewers that we have out there, what would you say, this Hollywood absorbs them? What have you learned throughout the years? And what would you suggest to who, being an actor or an actress in their career, what would you suggest?
Well, some people want to get lost. And that's why we have so many people doing drugs, because they're trying to escape who they are. So you have to be comfortable with you first. So I'm very comfortable. I'm like, this is who I am.
I was about to take a drink here, but I was kind of scared. She's always been sincere. She's never changed. I've never heard one negative thing, spoke about you. Like, and that speaks volumes because, at the end of the day, it's all about your reputation.
Right.
And, I've heard some things about your ex, but that's on him. But you are such a family person. The value, the money is really within the family. And, with all the BS.
You know what the best word for me to say is I'm grateful. Some people feel like, oh, you owe this to me. Like, a lot of men feel like I'm taking care of you. You owe me to cook me dinner. You have to do that. When you have that mindset, it makes you be a certain way with people. You know what I mean? With me, I don't feel like, oh, you owe me to take care of me. You better buy me that car. You know what I mean?
No, but you're willing to work.
Right, but a lot of people's mindset is what makes them who they are or how they are. So I'm just saying, like, I'm grateful for the things that I have. I don't feel like that someone like.
You're not caught up in the hype.
Right.
What you're saying.
Whether I have it or not, I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to be cool, and I'm still going to be likable, and I'm still like that girl,
So as you know, Mechelle, I have a good friend of mine, Kaimila. She was married to Stevie Wonder, and one of the reasons why she said that she wanted to separate is because she lost her entity of who she was. Because she was in fashion, she did a lot of amazing things, and being in Hollywood and being around all these different, very high profile people, you start to get lost into who you are. And I know with you, it's always been about family first and, you secondary. So I think at one point you probably realized, like, I don't want to do this no more. I want to do it about for my family, but I want to do it for me.
She's totally right. Because even now, after going through a divorce, I'm having to find me again. And I'm rediscovering who Mechelle McCain is. And it's crazy because where I am now, opposed to where I was a year ago, is totally different. And I'm like, wow, like, this is cool, like, being me. Because like you said, you do get lost in, like, even though you might not lose who you are in the sense of mentally, what you stand for, what you want in life, but you do get lost because especially people who are in the industry, they're very
controlling,
demanding of what they need. It's like I think it's like you're doing movies and you cling to the thing that's real, or your significant other or whoever you're dating at that time. So you want their energy, you want their time. So now, just like I'm pretty sure with her, when you try to do your own thing, sometimes that's like saying, hey, I can't, you want me to hang out with you. I can't do that. I can't go out tonight because you know what? I have a shoot early in the morning, so I need to just chill at the house.
Here you are, 20 years old. You met your future husband, and, obviously you had a huge empire at the time. What was that like? Because you kind of got fast-tracked,
Well, he didn't have an empire at the time. Okay, so it was kind of like, I think he was just about to shoot Friday After Next. So it was kind of that in-between spot. But I know...
But he was in the first Friday and people knew him.
But come on, Ty, just because you're in one movie in Hollywood.
Yeah, this is Hollywood.
But you're
seen out there.
Most people are broke.
Yeah, but no one ever know. I mean, look at TLC. They sold 90 million records and nobody knew what they were going through.
But the first record did not make them... You know what I mean? It's over time of being, showing up at this, doing videos, just being in the industry and working.
That's the facade with Hollywood. That's the problem. Because everybody that's seen in Hollywood, they're kind of thought to be super famous, super successful, Rolls Royces, Bentleys,
right,
big houses, lavish lifestyles.
So what I will say, though, is he was going to very lucrative meetings. Because one thing, you may not be have the money or be very famous in the world, but in the Hollywood community, everybody knows what everyone's doing. So, like, he was going to move to meetings with Disney. CAA was his agent, which is the biggest agency in the world. So I was going to these meetings.
So wait, you just met your future husband. Now you're going to these meetings. So you're kind of fast tracked into that world, right?
Exactly. But I was. Like I told you, I'm a smart girl, so I know business. So I get business. So you have a person who is like, a black man, a black male who has to deal with white Hollywood and trying to, like, I kind of bridge that gap.
What was that even like? I mean, is that, a discrepancy in Hollywood? Because a lot of people that, know me, and obviously I help out so many different kind of diverse communities. Is that a thing in Hollywood? Because I honestly don't even know.
When you say a thing, what do you mean?
Is that a thing? Is that a huge problem being black in Hollywood?
It is. Because first of all, the way black people are raised is a difference. And then you come out to Hollywood and the way things are done, like you said, is fake. It kind of is set up that way. You can't get around it. It can never be real. Because how someone feels about a person, you can't tell them. You know what I mean? And nobody wants to know. Who cares? Because you could be an asshole and be just disgusting in real life, but when they turn the camera on, if you're amazing and great, that's all they care about. Because now you're going to make them money. You're worth money and you're lucrative to their production.
Well, fast forward, you started going to these meetings with was it your boyfriend, your husband at the time?
My boyfriend at the time.
First off, when did you guys get married? And how long after you guys met did you guys get married?
Like 4 or 5 years afterwards.
4 or 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And, you going to these meetings, first off, really important meetings. Did you negotiate any contracts?
No, but I got what they were saying. So, like, when you go to the meeting, they're discussing, just different, their point of view and what they're looking for. So I just got it very well. So sometimes I would interject and, be part of the conversation because I'm like, look, this doesn't happen all the time. And I'm like, hey, I'm here. I got invited to the meeting. So, I know something. So then, and it's like, it's very funny how this industry is because when if like I'm with him or I was with him, then it was kind of like, oh, you must be somebody, or since that person brought you to the meeting, you're cool, and oh, hey, like you're good.
You're meeting all these really famous people around you. I mean, that's not something that your friends are probably doing, right?
Well, when I lived in Houston, I would see. I knew a lot of people already before I moved to LA, so it wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is my first time seeing famous people or things like that.
But I'm talking about, I'm sure you saw Kevin Hart's of the world that weren't even probably famous at the time, but
Right.
maybe were coming up and getting a little bit of.
No, I really knew famous people before I moved to LA.
Okay, so it's no big deal.
People who were, and not like a Janet Jackson or anything like that, but
Did you meet her?
No,
Oh.
no, I'm just saying. I'm giving that as an example. Like, I would meet before I came here. I knew people who were famous. So, like, I was meant to be in this industry. I know that. So when I came, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to into the direction of where I'm supposed to go. I came here to be an actress. I see those things happening. I'm around these people. They are listening to me. People behind the scenes. That, like, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. I was going to acting class. Any acting class that was the class to go to, I was going there.
But when did you actually get your first part? I mean, people have this idea. You're married to a celebrity. Let's going to fast forward. You're 5 years into your relationship. You finally got married. Did you have any prior engagements of acting, while you're married, or was it mostly focused on, your
Before we got married, because it was 4 to 5 years. So before I got married, I was in movies.
Oh, you did do movies?
Yeah, so like I did.
You?
So I did like Fighting Temptation. Now here's the thing: what people don't realize.
Fighting Temptation, wasn't that with Holly Carter and Beyonce and Little Zane and right?
Yes.
It was a huge movie.
And Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Okay, so now here's the thing. Just like you could hook me up all day and say, hey, put her in this, do this, but I still have to do the acting. So even with music, I can get you a deal, but you have to sing the song. So you have to be talented already. That's not enough for someone to just say, hey, you're good. A lot of people have been referred to other people, and they get on set and they get cut out the movie.
So what was it like on your first movie role?
So that was with Beyonce and Cuba Gooding Jr. So it's the scene that I was in was like in the bar scene where Beyonce's singing and Cuba Gooding Jr., they're playing their role. And so I'm nervous. Like, even with the cameras going, I'm nervous because I'm like, this is a big, now in my head, I'm like, this is big. This is huge. It's millions of dollars on the line. We have Beyonce, who's a huge recording artist, which I would see in Houston, though, because my mother had an office in the same building that they had an office.
Wow.
Her father. So I would see her in the elevator. You know what I mean? So
Did she recognize you?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But but still, I'm on set. This is my dream. That was more important to me, that this is my dream. I came to LA to be an actress, and I'm on set with these people who like Beyonce, I didn't grow up seeing her, but like Cuba Gooding Jr., and the director, like they've directed to hear their body of work. It's like, oh my gosh, like my dream is coming true, because everybody doesn't make it. A lot of people come here, but they don't make it.
So you actually had to prep for this, right? So you went to acting schools, and you're still nervous, even though you were prepped, right? And you study your sides,
Right.
Sides, lines, right?
Yes.
And here you are with Cuba Gooding Jr., which I think he had a few movies that came out around that time, and he was huge, right?
Yes.
And Beyonce, she was in Destiny's Child. She was at the top of her game, and I don't even want to say top of her game because she's still huge, right? But
the top was
the top
started,
was still going, right? But at the time, Destiny's Child, that was huge. So here you are with your opportunity, your chance. Did you audition for the role, or was it something saying, hey, Mechelle, maybe just try this role out, or how did that even come about?
Yes. So, of course, I wanted to be in the movie. So I was like, hey, so I think he talked to somebody on the set, and they were like, okay, let's do this. Let's give her a chance. So it wasn't too big where it wasn't, if it wasn't working, they can say, okay, no, that's not working or whatever. So, the role was, I would say people are always open to helping me, especially in that, because when you've been referred to someone, it's always a sense of like, okay, someone knows them, so it's gonna be cool. You know what I mean? So I feel like they were like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll give her a shot. And then when I was doing my thing, it's like, all right, cool, she's good. So
it's not just who it's also you have to perform. The bottom line is you have to perform because there's also their name on it.
Right.
So, going into this a little bit further, so, you got this role, you performed, the movie was a huge success. What would you say to somebody that's trying to get into Hollywood and get into these roles? How would somebody get the opportunities that you've actually received?
You can't, I mean, it's not the same thing because my story is different.
People want to get into your position. So, is there any kind of techniques to get in your position?
First, you have to have it.
You're not going to hang around Forever 21.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's Mechelle McCain's story. So the thing is, like I said, you have to have it first. You have to have something. Just because you want to be in Hollywood, you have to kind of figure out what's special about who you are. Because they're not looking for another Halle Berry. Maybe in the terms of like looks, body type,
I'm looking for
roles.
Halle Berry. Help me.
But I mean, you still, you know what I mean? It's like they use that to just sum up the adjectives that they're looking for. But you have to figure out what's your thing. What is your stick that brings who you are to life? You know what I'm saying?
A lot of the people that I know in Hollywood, they came to Hollywood for a particular passion. And, you being who you are and always being so strong-willed, what would you tell a 20-year-old that, was in your position? What would you tell that person?
Well, definitely being cute is not going to get you to where you want to go. You might be able to get in a music video and shaking your butt, but I mean, is that your end goal? You have to know, what are you striving for? What do you really want? Before you even go through the door, what are you willing to do and what are you not willing to do? You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of women from the Harvey Weinstein thing that said, hey, I slept with him because I wanted this role. They actually were willing to do it. So you have different people who will do different things. I'm not that girl who's going to sleep with, you know what I'm saying? A guy who's like, oh, I'm going to get you in this role because, okay, you sleep with him. Is he really going to put you in the role? You know what I mean? Are you getting played? You have a lot of things to look after. And then you're continuously doing that. That's taking a piece out of your soul. So that strong will that I have, it's kind of hard for you to keep having that, doing those type of things. So that's why I say you have to put in the work, because nobody can take away you going to acting class every week. No one can take away you auditioning, booking the role and are on a show. No one can take that away. And consistency, especially in Hollywood, because I remember it's a lot of people who've gone back home, had to take a break because of money, just so many different things, but they weren't consistent. The people who were consistent, now I see them playing certain roles in Hollywood. I'm like, I remember we were all trying to make it before.
And I've seen that too. Growing up in Hollywood, I've seen a friend of mine just recently on Netflix. Her name was Kat, and she was on Vampire Diaries. And I can't believe, where her career has blossomed to. And she's wanted it so bad, like almost like taking that breath of air. You want it so bad because you need
Kat Graham.
Yes.
Because I auditioned for that role that she got, the Vampire Diaries.
No way.
And I remember, I think she had just got it, but we both on the BET Hip Hop Awards, we presented together.
You were on that? The BET Awards?
BET Hip Hop Awards as a presenter.
Wow.
This was like, I don't even remember what year, but it was when she first started doing that.
And do you know that when I first met her, she was just getting into Hollywood. She was cute and she wanted to do something, but she wanted it so bad that she couldn't think anything else but being focused on her career. And I'm so happy. When I look at her now, when I see her on Netflix and all these different TV shows, I'm just proud of her because she wanted it and she became successful because that was the only vision that she had, was to her success and where she is now. Okay, so here you are. You had, 11 years of marriage?
Yeah, 10 and a half.
That's pretty good. I just guessed, actually.
Yeah, that was
11
good.
years of marriage. Here you are after, going through, I'm sure, a horrific divorce, because most of them never end up good.
Right.
But, what are you doing after the fact now?
Well, now I'm just being fabulous daily. No. So, I'm a MILF now. I have my 2 kids. And so right now it's about raising my children.
That always has for you.
But no, it's different because I want to teach them that just because with children, they view things differently than you do. So now my kids are in the background, they're seeing, okay, we used to live like this, and we used to live in this home, and daddy used to come home every day. Now he doesn't do that anymore. That's very different for kids. So it's kind of like, okay, my life has changed. Things are different. Now, because mommy is not on TV like daddy is. So now are we about to live, not necessarily in the hood, but Are things changing? It's scary for kids.
What's that like? Because honestly, my family went through a divorce, and I remember bits and pieces of it, and I'm sure it affected me, but I feel like maybe I took some of the commotion that went on with my family into my own personal heart and said, maybe was I responsible? Is that tough as a parent for you?
Yes, because with kids, they don't get it. They don't understand, like, now mommy has to rebuild. And I have to take care of me first right now. And I think that it was confusing and questionable. Kids want to know what's going on. They want to pinpoint exactly what's next, what's this. Familiarity is important to them, and it's comfortable. So I think that.
Is it weird, like, for them going to school? Do you feel like, because moms always kind of cover up for the fathers, I feel like.
Yeah, that's true. People at the school were asking them, oh, I heard that your parents are getting a divorce. Oh, I heard this and that. Oh, I heard, and it's kind of like, damn.
Not to be rude to the fathers out there, but I feel like women, they take up for the man and the father's place, and they really try to cover up and compensate, for the missing, spouse. Mm-hmm. And how did that affect you?
Well, initially I did, but now I'm truthful and I'm honest with my kids. Because they're going to find out the truth anyway. So it's better for it to come from me than from the streets. Yeah. So I'm honest with them about what's going on. So now I think to see the transition, they may have been, a little scary for them at first. But now they're like, okay, my mother is better than she was before.
First off, what is your type? I mean, here you are out of a relationship. Are you dating right now?
I ain't got no type.
No, you don't? I mean, is white, black?
I'm open.
No?
So now I feel a newfound freedom to just live my best life. So it's about me. You know what I'm saying? So whoever fits into that, that's who I'm open to.
I feel with you, I feel like it doesn't have to be any kind of race. You just have to be easygoing, funny, and be about family life.
Right. And know that
I'm
super cool.
No, I honestly feel that about you. Like, I feel like it's just really about soul and spirit. It doesn't matter what you look like. It's just about who you are as a person, knowing yourself very well, and making sure that you're sincere to the next person.
Mm-hmm. But they need to know what just the things that I bring to the table. Like, need to know it, appreciate me. I need to feel appreciated, and they need to be a grateful person.
So, what are you working on now?
So now, which I've always produced my own projects, but now it's at a different pace. It's all about me. You know what I mean? I can just totally commit to me and my production company. Sure, I'm doing a short film that I'm working on called Footprints. It's about child trafficking, human trafficking, children, and I'm the person who's doing that. I want to show myself in a different light.
You're the actress, or
no? I'm the person who's human trafficking the kids.
That's a crazy role.
Yeah, it is. It is crazy. But I'm producing it and I'm starring in it.
So you're producing, starring in it?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
What's that like?
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Yes, but I can do. I love it. I love producing and I love acting. So I don't look at it that way. Yes, I do have to put in the work. Yes, it's gonna be tiresome, but what I'm gonna get out of it, that's what I'm looking for.
And what platform would we see that on?
I don't know yet because after I film, there's so many streaming platforms now, so I don't know. But I also have a YouTube channel that I'm putting together because now you need to put out content. I'm not going to wait for someone to hire me. So my goal is to put together my own, content and just build on it, and then somebody will give me money and I can go straight and film my own thing and go to Netflix and get a deal. I don't have to wait for somebody to hire me in their Netflix.
But you're putting your own money out there, you're acting in it, you're starring, you're doing all you're producing it. But I would say to the viewers out there that you're not going to wait for anybody. You're going to just do it because you're passionate about it first, and if you want it bad enough, you're going to get it.
Exactly.
So are you focusing more on the camera or off the camera or both?
Both. Right now, because my goal is to be a successful actress. That's what I came out here to do. So I want to accomplish that goal. And I also produce because I can put my money up to do my own thing and make the project happen. That comes into play with me not waiting for people. But I'm open to both sides. Like sometimes there may be a project that I just want to produce. I don't want to star in. But right now I'm focusing on both.
Outside of acting and being a mother, you are an entrepreneur that wants to invest into commercial properties,
Yes.
residential, and make your money that way.
Right. I just feel like I have to live a certain lifestyle. I have to have a certain income coming in for my children and myself. So of course, we always have our passion and the things that we want to do, but I have another passion, which is real estate, like having my own apartment buildings and investing. Because, I just feel like with the stock market, it's so risky. I really enjoy doing the properties, rehabbing a home, fixing it up where it's like it starts off one way. I guess there's a creativeness in me. Fixing it up and then selling or leasing it out, those kind of things. That's my thing. Because I think with real estate, people always need a place to stay. So they're going to always need a property.
And you want that hard asset you can see, not just a stock that you see on NASDAQ. Something physically that you own, which
Yes.
is very smart because, the Grant Cardones out there, they always preach, buy property, make your income. And you want to do it a safe bet, and actually own
Right.
something that's making you an asset.
Yes, exactly.
Obviously in Hollywood, a lot of the ex-wives, they keep their last names. And you decided right off the bat, you want to change your last name from Epps to McCain.
Yes.
And you're moving forward, and you're proud of it. And you're saying, I know who I am, and you know who you are, and this is the thing. What is it that you want to tell people?
Well, I think the thing is who I was married to and what they do doesn't define me. You know what I mean? I'm Mechelle McCain. Like, before I met him and after, I'm still going to be Mechelle McCain. I'm still going to do the things that I did, and I contribute a lot to that relationship. It wasn't just, oh, you're lucky you got somebody picked you and you were able to do. No, I contribute a whole lot to that relationship, and I have a lot to do with where that person is. Like, honestly, like, I'm not going to let anyone take that away from me. And I just feel like the things that I helped him with, do that for yourself. Like, that's why on my Instagram, I'm like talking about self-love, self-esteem. Like, you really have to love yourself first. And then you can love someone else and you can be good to someone else. But I just really feel like you have to do what you want to do. No matter what anybody else thinks, do what makes you happy. And if you do that, you're going to be okay. You're going to figure everything out and be consistent. If you say, hey, I want to do this, do it. You can't talk about it. Like me, if I'm saying, oh, I want to be an actress, and I, twiddling my thumbs and I'm not auditioning, people are not seeing me, people don't know I'm acting. The way the world is set up now, you have an iPhone, you have cameras you can purchase yourself that are not that expensive. So it's like, shoot your own thing.
That's so interesting because, what you're saying right now is you're saying be self-love, do what you want to do, be passionate about it. People have this perception in Hollywood, that you have this glitz and glamour, but it's not really always about that.
Right.
You got to put the hard effort into it, and that's what you're portraying here today.
Yes.
So I appreciate everything you're telling us and the audience here.
You have to pay your dues. So, Ty, this year for me, I have so many big plans for myself. I really know where I want to go. I really know who I really am as just Mechelle McCain. You know what I mean? So, it's going to be exciting. We have a few things we're working on. I'm excited about that.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I just really want to say thank you for having me on here. I want people to follow me on Instagram. Get some of this self-love from Mechelle.
Where can they find you?
Mechelle McCain on all platforms.
And
I kept it simple. MECHELLEMCCAIN.
Follow her.
Yes.